Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be giving you a market analysis and let you know what's happening in Oasis. We're going to cover two sub-communities, Palmeira and Mirage. Those were the earliest communities to be sold by Emaar. But before we get into that, let's understand what are we waiting for? What are we excited to see? It's this community over here. This is a resort style community where you've got water lagoons, luxury villas, a beautiful lifestyle that people can enjoy, and it's strategically placed. Of course, Emaar picked the best plots between what we know exists in Dubai and what's coming in the south. So just taking a look, this gives you a bit of an idea about what the community will look like. We can see the community park, we can see the water garden over here. I mean, where in Dubai can you experience something like that? But without further ado, let's understand the location. Let's understand, at an overview, what transactions have happened in the last 3 months and what have we seen in terms of resales. Before we get into these transactions, going through exactly what has happened on the secondary market, let's have a look at where the location is. So this is Palmiera. You can see Burj Khalifa, Burj Al Arab, Marina. I mean, these are the key areas in Dubai. And then you've got towards the south, Al Maktoum Airport, and you've got Dubai International Airport on the right hand side. Community wise, you've got Emirates Living, you've got Dubai Hills, which is currently the middle between downtown and the Palm Marina. You've got Arabian Ranches 1, Arabian Ranches 2, Arabian Ranches 3, and we've got this area here, which is Oasis. Emaar are phenomenally good at creating community. So of course, they pick the best plots, they understand where the market is going, they understand where the future development will be happening with, of course, Palm Jebel Ali and all of the development that's happening on the southern side of Dubai. And this is perfectly placed between the new side of Dubai and then, of course, the original settlement and the side that we currently refer to as Dubai. So going into the community right now, we're going to be covering this section here. So this is phase 1, and we're going to be covering Palmeira and we're going to be covering Mirage, and we're going to be specifically looking at the transactions that have happened. I want to understand from launch what has happened in terms of price per square foot, which properties have sold and what sort of locations have demanded what price. Now, firstly, let's have an overview of the market itself. So if we have a look at Palmeira, these are specifically 4 beds. We can see that there's a big variance in terms of plot sizes. So 8,267 being the smallest plot size that has transacted, up to 11,075. Of course, someone looking to settle in one of these as an end user, they'll of course want a bigger plot. A bigger plot will give them an ability to, create their personal space and, customize it as they see fit. Transaction wise, we've seen 9.5 million dirhams, which equates to 1,514 dirhams per square foot, to a maximum value of one transaction at 12.4 million dirhams, and that would be 1,976. Even at 1,976 dirhams per square foot, that is incredible value for this kind of project. Of course, we're going to see, in my opinion, the appreciation happen closer to handover when end users can, get into that property sooner. Handover at the moment for Palmeira is December 2027. However, Emaar, with their current projects, with Address Hillcrest, with Arabian Ranches, with a lot of their projects, they're working much faster than anticipated by the buyers. So of course, we might see something happen a few quarters earlier, maybe even up to a year. At the moment, they're at 30% construction. Let's have a look at the first transaction. First transaction is 113. This is in date order, ranging from June, this is the last 3 months, between June and March. 113 is the first transaction to have happened, and we've got the location over here. So let's understand what the location is like. So you have this pathway just behind with the landscaped area. What's quite nice is it's a corner unit, and that transacted at 10.75 million. Then we move over to unit 250. 250 would be this unit over here. As you can see, because of the way that the plot is shaped, you get more space. You're at 11,075 in terms of plot size. That closed at 10.8 million. Let's understand the location. That is a green area with it backing that internal road, and then you've got Palmeira 2 just above it, but still quite a nice green area, quite private. Third transaction is 243. You've got 243, which is this one over here, and 243 has a slightly smaller plot, 8,267. 10.6 million is what it sold for. You've got this water body just behind, and it's a larger landscaped area just behind there. 10.6. Having a look down, we've got 264. 264 is a really lovely property. Now this is the record at the moment in terms of resale value. This closed at 12.4 million dirhams, which is 1,976 dirhams per square foot. Good plot size. Again, you can see the shape of the plot. It sort of bows out because it's sort of on the corner. You've got a swimmable lagoon over here, which is quite nice. Not all of the lagoons are swimmable, but there are sections where you can swim in these lagoons. Again, that is a big benefit. 12.4 million dirhams. I mean, if we have a look at 264, let's understand what that is. That's 6,274 square foot. Just to give you some context, that's on the water body. So you've got a water view. 6,200 square foot is like a 5-bedroom engulf place, and that's something that's demanding over 20 million dirhams. 12.4 million dirhams, and that's the highest transaction. Incredible value. 36, so we're going to go over to the other side. 36, which is this one here. It's a slightly smaller property. You can see it's 5,843. That transaction came in at 9.6. Plot size is a smaller, 8,267. Let's talk about the location. What's quite nice is you're on the corner. So you've got this, I'll move this closer so I can point at it. You've got this area here, which is quite nice there. And then you've got this greenbelt area. I like these sort of plots because you're kind of going straight through the middle. So if you can imagine from a plot point of view, yes, you'll look over these guys, you'll look over their plots, but their property is not going to be blocking your view, and you're going to get quite a nice view all the way up. So that one was 9.6. Then we look at 245. So we're back on the other side again. 245, which is this one over here. 245, 6,274 built up, and that transaction happened at 9.5 million, 1,514 dirhams per square foot. Excellent value. Unit 25. Let's move over to that one now. As you can see, just zooming out here, just to give you some context, it's just over there. You've got the internal road over here, but it's quite offset from the road because you've got that gap over here. And then you've got the water lagoon just below. So what did 25 sell for? That sold for 10.55 million, 1,806 dirhams per square foot. Plot size, 9,913. So that is all of the 4 beds in Palmeira. Let's understand what 5 beds have sold for. So in the last 3 months, we've seen 3 transactions. So we've seen a range of transactions from 13 million up to 16 million dirhams. 1,677 per square foot to 1,850 per square foot. That's the sort of prices that we've seen. So we've got 3 transactions. What's notable about this type of layout is it does include a basement. So it's a drop style layout where you have access from the basement directly out to the garden itself. In another video, I will cover the layouts, what you can expect, but this is more to give you an idea of what's happened in the market, what sort of transactions we've seen. So let's have a look at number 75. So we'll zoom out. Being a 5-bed, you've got a better allocation in terms of location. So you've got a lagoon that you back onto. Price-wise, you're at 15 to 1749 per square foot, 8,421 square foot. Have a look at 73, which is a few doors down, which is this one here. This one has a larger lagoon backing position. Having a look at 73, which is a few doors down, this is a larger lagoon backing position. So you've got slightly bigger plot, 8,500 square foot, and you've got that higher transaction at 16 million dirhams. So you can see bigger lagoon, you know, someone's associated a higher value to that. And that's the highest transaction that we've seen so far for a 5-bed. Now we have a look at the cheapest transaction, which is unit number 80. Let's see how that varies. Yeah, unit number 80. Wow, that's a beautiful location. That's a beautiful location because you've got a really open view. It backs towards the water. Let's have a look at the stats. 8,267 square foot in terms of the plot. It's the smallest plot that we've seen. This one over here, 13 million dirhams is what it was acquired for. That's 1,677 dirhams per square foot. That is probably the top pick. That is probably the best value transaction that has happened. I mean, we've seen some lower numbers come in price per square foot, but you know, getting lagoon facing property at that sort of price, phenomenal. So now we're going to take a step back and we're going to have a look at Mirage. There's 3 transactions that we've seen. Mirage is just below Palmeira in terms of location, just to give you a bit of an idea here. And then you've got a section where it shares the lagoons in Palmeira as well as Mirage. So let's get straight into the transactions, see what's happened. We've only seen 3 transactions. We've seen one 5-bed that was sold. That was sold at 18 million. That was 1,761 dirhams per square foot. And we saw 2 6-beds that were sold. Those were much larger plots, of course, 23 million, both of those a piece, 1,774 dirhams per square foot. It was actually 2 properties next door to each other. So let's have a look at 79. So 79 is this property just on the corner here. Lovely location. You've got a full corner plot. You're backing towards the lagoon area as well. Just to give you an idea, 11,194 square foot in terms of the plot. You've got that corner location. 18 million is what that property is sold for. Now let's have a look at the next 2 transactions. So we've seen 16 and 17 were the ones that sold. So 16 and 17, 2 corner positions. I'm going to tell you something interesting about these 2 properties and the locations. So what you'll notice is we mentioned in Palmeira where the landscaped area bows out. So the plot bows out towards the back. This is an example of that inverted. So you've got a larger plot space at the front, which gives you these triangles of space here. Of course, from a landscaping point of view, you need to make sure that you plan everything out because it's much narrower on the inside. So although you might have a bigger plot, the space is on the other side. So 14,828, very similar properties, sold for the same price, 1,774 dirhams per square foot. Again, incredible value. That covers the last 3 months of transactions. Of course, we are some time away from the handovers, but this community offers incredible value against what is ready in the market at the moment. It's something that I'm very excited to see. Again, I just thought I'd give you some value, give you some understanding of where the market is transacting now. Of course, if you had any questions, I've left my telephone number in the description below. If you're looking to acquire something in Dubai, in Oasis, or you want to have a discussion, understand what your position could be in terms of exiting, entering the market, always happy to help. Pleasure, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.